All right, folks, this is Harris Sultan. As you guys know, the Spanish government is in the terminal phase of the woke mind virus. They want to reap the benefits of being a NATO member, but they don't want to meet their defense obligations by putting 5% of the GDP towards a defense budget. Socialist woke, some even call him corrupt, Pedro Sanchez has just legalized 500,000 illegal migrants, much to the displeasure of not only just the Spanish people, but also the EU. And the genius thought that this will somehow solve the migration crisis, but in the wake of this stupid decision, another million illegal migrants flooded the Spanish shores. Clearly, he's a woke socialist lunatic. And we have seen this alliance between socialist, communist, wokes, and the Islamists. But let me tell you, this alliance between the socialists and the Islamists never ends well for the socialists, because the Islamists always end up killing them. Have a listen to this Spanish opposition politician.
I urge you to go off alone and drunk to Tehran, or for example, to Kabul in a miniskirt. Cheer up, go there, and take your gay friends to see when they will hang them from cranes, for that is how they treat homosexuality and women in those dreamy, far-off countries you boast about so much nowadays.
So true. All of these woke socialist lunatics, whether they're the Greens in Britain or in Australia, or these wokes in France, Germany, and especially in Spain, all we have to do is to take them to Afghanistan. Okay, go to Afghanistan. Have a look. How can these progressives throw their traditional allies, like the women, LGBTQ people, dissidents, how can they throw them under the bus? How? I have a very simple answer to it, because these are socialist, communist wokes, and we know communists don't care about anyone but their own communist ideology, which is just to seize the means of production, destroy the class system, and no matter how much blood they have to shed. So all these feminist movements or pro-LGBTQ movement, that was just a facade. They don't care about that. Pedro Sanchez is hell-bent on destroying Spain as a Western country. Now, as if that wasn't enough, in order to please his socialist, communist, and Islamist friends, he even refused access to military bases in Spain to the US military in its operation against Iran. Who exactly is he catering to? Clearly, he sees it's beneficial to be an ally of the Islamists and the communists rather than the capitalist America. And they accuse Trump of breaking Western alliances? No, it's all of them. France, Britain, all of these countries have a leaning towards woke socialist ideals, and as a result, Western alliances are falling apart. All these countries want to be part of the Western alliance, but they don't want to get their hands dirty. In order to keep the Western world order going, they want America to be the bad guy, to get his hands dirty. Have a look at the next video clip from Turkey. A Turkish channel is praising the Spanish government for not giving access to its military bases to the US military in its operation against Iran. And they recorded this message in Spanish. Obviously, I have translated that into English using AI. Have a listen.
We extend our heartfelt, sincere thanks to you. Now that Spaniards are indeed taking a close and sustained look at our media, may this be, even if only a small contribution from us towards strengthening and deepening this friendship. We would be glad to say it in a way that they will very readily understand. Thank you for being in step with history. Thank you for presenting and embodying the consciousness of humanity, like the man in Fayazit's series. I truly felt like speaking Spanish.
So she recorded that message in Spanish because they're praising the Spanish government decision not to give access to its military bases to the US military in its operation against Iran. Sorry, how is America responsible for breaking Western alliances? It's not America. It's the communist, socialist, woke Europe. But as I said in my previous video, our alliances are forged in blood over many battles and over wars. So even though Starmer initially may say, oh, we did play a role in these strikes against Iran, eventually they are always going to see you as part of the Western alliance, and they will always attack you. So now Starmer has backtracked, and as a result, it has given access to its military bases in Diego Garcia to the US military. But the UK military is still on defensive positions. But having said all of that, we have a different president in office. we have President Donald Trump. Any other US president, Obama, Sleepy Joe, they would have just ignored this insolence from the Spanish government. President Trump has the biggest leverage, not just his military might, but also his economic might. Have a look at this. Total trade between Spain and the US is about $70 billion in 2024, okay? Which is peanuts for the US. Spain ranks about the 22nd largest trading partner of the US, and obviously Spain is a part of the EU. So this is peanuts for the United States. US exports about $24 billion worth of goods and services, okay? Spain exports about $22 billion to the US. That is a lot for the Spanish economy. The US is Spain's 6th largest export destination. So President Trump said, you know what? If you're going to side with our enemies, if you're going to get congratulatory messages from our enemies, and you're not even going to give access to your military bases, which, by the way, we can take if we want to, who's going to stop? So true. I love that, America. I really do. I'm sorry. I'm not an American, but I think you don't have to apologize. Why should we be constrained by these international laws when our enemies destroy every single international law? What international law allowed Iran to create proxies like Hamas and Hezbollah? What international law allowed Hamas to go into Israel, blow up, and start this conflict? When other Middle Eastern countries like the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the UAE were tilting towards peace with Israel. So no, international law for thee, but not for me. No, thankfully we have a different president in office. This is what President Trump said to Spain.
Some of the European, like Spain, has been terrible. In fact, I told Scott to cut off all dealings with Spain. Spain, first of all,
$23 billion? Yeah, let's put some tariff on. Let's destroy your industry. There's nothing wrong with that. This is not coercion. This is partnership. If other countries are going to back away and not honor our decades-long military agreements, then all bets are off. Well done, Mr. President.
It started when every European nation, at my request, paid 5%, which they should be doing. And everybody was enthusiastic about it, Germany, everybody. And Spain didn't do it.
Because they're socialist wokes. They have to feed all these illegal migrants who are coming into their country, which a lot of Spanish people, by the way, are not happy with. I have a channel in Spanish. They translate all my videos into Spanish, French, German, and now Czech, and Portuguese. So I get to see the sentiment. And obviously, there are a lot of Spanish people who are not happy with this socialist communist government of Pedro Sanchez.
And now Spain actually said that we can't use their bases, and that's all right. We don't want to. We could use their base if we want. We could just fly in and use it. Nobody's going to tell us not to use it, but we don't have to. But they were unfriendly, and so I told him we don't want to. Spain has absolutely nothing that we need other than great people. They have great people, but they don't have great leadership. And as you know, they were the only country that in NATO would not agree to go up to 5%. I don't think they would have agreed to go up to anything. They wanted to keep it at 2%, and they don't pay the 2%.
Yeah.
So we're going to cut off all trade with Spain. We don't want anything to do with Spain.
Well done. And let me say that again. Every time we say Spain or we say Iran, obviously we mean their governments. In the case of Iran, we mean the regime. Obviously not the people. Clearly not the people. So please don't take it the wrong way. I have enormous respect for Spanish culture, Spanish history, Rafael Nadal, and now Carlos Alcaraz. Amazing, fascinating country. I haven't been there, but I want to do it properly. I want to go there, at least spend 2 months there. So that's what we call updating the software. So when President Trump said that on the 3rd of March, I believe, they suddenly started backtracking. Such is the power of American muscle. Have a listen to Caroline Levitt.
With respect to Spain, I think they heard the president's message yesterday loud and clear. And it's my understanding over the past several hours, they've agreed to cooperate with the U.S. military. And so I know that the U.S. military is coordinating with their counterparts in Spain. But the president expects all of our European allies, of course, to cooperate in this long sought after mission, not just for the United States, but also for Europe, to crush the rogue Iranian regime that, again, not only threatens America, but also threatens our European allies as well.
This is why this is all the more frustrating. This Islamic regime hates the West, okay? It's not just America. It hates the West. China hates the Western world order. Russia hates the West. And the Islamic regime hates the West. And obviously, the Asian Oompa Loompa, Kim Jong-un. They all hate the West. And we have Western democracies who want to be the good guys because they have some Muslim voter base just to appease them. They're saying, oh, we didn't have a hand in that. Please don't bomb us. We don't want riots in the streets of Manchester and Bradford and Paris and Barcelona. No. You need to get your house in order. If you have an Islamist problem, then you have to pick a side. You're either with your Western allies who stand up for Western civilization, or you go and bend over backwards and kiss the asses of those who actually hate you.